review headlines from today's newspapers. And as ever, we begin with This Day.
Yes, with This Day newspaper, where we have the lead story, Game On, court vacate order stopping APC's convention. Akwanudo Dehe returns. Buni, secretary at party's headquarters, continue preparations along the line of scheduled activities. I think that this is good news to APC members, the ruling party. Buni is back. He was in London to see the president. The coup, in quotes, failed.
What have I missed?
You were in the war front. When all this
was happening
exactly.
in the APC.
The coup apparently failed. But then I think I like the manner in which Governor Mai Mala Buni is handling this thing. Even if the other party had the nod of the president, the law didn't support the approach, and it was obvious that they had to return to status quo. And the president has advised everybody. So Buni is saying everything that Governor Bello of Niger State, who stood in for me while I was in Dubai attending to my health, after which I went to the UK to see the president, who was also attending to his health in the UK. Everything that he has planned for the convention of next Saturday, it's actually next Saturday, will hold. So I think that is fine. The purchase of forms is now out. You can now purchase, even though it looks like the body language of the president and the power block within APC is that there will be a consensus candidate. But I like the fact that the party has, weathered the storm, and it's not the only party that is in the news. PDP is dealing with its own issues, and we have seen what APGA went through, in Anambra. So that's a good one for the party. We'll see in the course of the week if indeed the convention will hold on Saturday, and if it will be an acceptable kind of convention that the party needs after almost 2 years that the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, who was the chairman of the party, was eased out of that seat. On top of that lead story, we have Malami celebrates as court annuls section of Electoral Act barring political appointees. And the rider says federal government will immediately give effect to the judgment by gazetting it. Of course, that is the section, the controversial section 84, 12, which says that political appointees will have to resign their appointments, before the party primaries, which means that if a minister, let's say, for example, a minister Amechi, or a commissioner or a special advisor, etc., is interested in running for any office, you will have to resign by the
30 days or something like that.
To the 30 days to the primaries, which therefore means that you will have resigned more than 1 year before the government. Before the end of the term of the government, which is not, just like President Muhammadu Buhari argued in his letter to the National Assembly, that this will mean that you are disenfranchising people who are called upon to serve. They didn't run for office. They now want to run for office. You can now, therefore, deny them the opportunity. So I think that this is a sensible judgment. Let's hope that it will not be challenged. But of course, Malami, the Attorney General, said that we will quickly gazette it, that this is a law that is, pleasant to them. And I think that a lot of people. My thought is that this is a way to find an amicable solution between the executive, represented by the President's office, and the National Assembly. They've taken their pound of flesh, but then if court now says, yes, you guys have voted and you said that it will stay, but then the court is saying let it. So they can, go, head and shoulders high and say that, well, after all, we didn't listen to the president, but it's the court that has now forced us to do that. So that's fine.
As long as they get to the same destination.
The same destination, absolutely. Below on the strip, EFCC moves Obiano to Abuja, queries him on alleged 42 billion naira fraud that you will find on page 5 of this day. That's a humongous amount of money. We do not know if FCC is saying that he misappropriated this sum or that he stole this sum, but then there are issues around 42 billion. My problem with this kind of a thing is that every now and then we hear EFCC engaging in media trial. You know, you're waiting for him for his last day, and then, I mean, what's wrong in saying that we're inviting you as soon as you hand over, show up, which was what Governor, Adele Faushe of Ekiti did. He said that I know that the FCC will come after me. I know that it will be a political trial, and I'm not going to travel as soon as I, hand over. I'll be ready for them. I will pack my, bags and baggages, and I will, honor their invitation. Adele Faushe is still around now. After all the brouhaha, of the EFCC, he supervised the primaries of the PDP in Ekiti State, and his candidate won. So EFCC should look for a new way of doing things. It's not as if that now that you have picked Obiano, is going straight to jail. You have to charge him, take him to court.
Process. I mean, like, the early reports were that he was apprehended on his way out of the country.
Yes, going to Houston or something in Lagos. Yes. And then they've now moved him to Abuja.
Yes. So perhaps that could be a reason why they had to take a bit more of a dramatic turn.
Okay. So quickly, there are two important stories still on the cover of this day. Buhari back in Abuja after 2-week medicals in London, which is on page 16. It means that the president will be available for the APC Convention.
Absolutely.
And of course, lastly, on the window, Oka monarch Ibelechukwu Obiano has desecrated kingdom by fighting Bianca. Says serious consequences loom. And the writer says Bianca's stunned by the stench of whiskey on Obiano's wife's breath. How do you detect the stench of a whiskey?
If it turns out that the former First Lady was in fact drunk with whiskey, and it was determined that it was Bianca Ojukwu's nose that could spell not just alcohol, but what type of alcohol it is, she should be able to use those cases in other types of surveillance. I'm sure you could use that talent elsewhere.
Could it have been brandy, by the way?
Could it not have been vodka?
I mean,
if it was palm wine?
I don't get it.
What if it was Paraga? How would we know? How would we know?
Well, I mean, Bianca Ojukwu, have we got time at all for punch? No time?
We don't.
All right, we do not have any time.
We have to go.
It's a whiskey morning kind of a thing, but we wish them the best of luck. But let's hope that common sense will prevail in Anambra and they will allow.
And as adults, one thing that I wasn't able to say at the top end of the show is that sometimes when you're put in a tense situation, if you can diffuse it and leave it, that's always the best thing to do.
Absolutely. You're very correct, Femi.
We wish the best to everybody involved in that.